Oh, hey everybody, how's it going today? So I just pulled the exhaust off. It's a pretty straightforward job. You gotta pull all these little tabs off, get the side off here. As you guys can see what I've done so far. Get that little piece out right there. You do not have to remove the entire step. It might make it a little bit easier if you do, but it's pretty simple, straightforward. I did lose one little 13 mil. These are 13 mils. I lost one down there, but it didn't go all the way to the ground, so I didn't actually lose it. I'll get my magnet out and I'll find that later. No big deal. When I was taking this thing out, I did notice that this pipe here was moving back and forth, so I know for a fact that there's a break around here. So I'm going to have to cut these off. So cut that off, cut this one off, and cut that one off to figure out where it's broken and if it's broken. And as you, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but every time I hear his machine, I am so envious, and this is why I'm doing it. It is ironic that he just pulled up here. If you guys heard that, that's why I'm doing this. Listen to that. It purrs. Like, since we did his and his was bad, you guys saw me weld it, you can't hear his exhaust out except for out the end. And it sounds amazing. It sounds insane. I absolutely love the way it sounds. And I've known since the beginning that I had an issue with recording for ride videos. And what I wanted to do was actually do a before and after. But I had just had surgery and I can't get out and ride right now. I shouldn't even technically really be doing this, but this isn't a hard job. So I didn't feel my nose has been draining like constantly. It's called FESS. I can't remember what it's called, but the initials for it is FESS. It's a sinus surgery I had. So anyway, yeah. So I'm going to have to cut these straps off right here, and I'm going to do that. And I'm going to show you where mine is broken. Because like I said, with this thing mounted, this pipe moved. And this isn't supposed to move. So I know for a fact this pipe's broken off. Probably that same hanger that was on his. And because it moved on top of it, I guarantee you it's broken there too. So I'm going to cut this off and show you guys that. Alrighty, cut, and cut. They pop off pretty easy. Let's get this off. And I want to do this right in front of you guys. Taking it off. They just separate. That strap still, just give me a sec. That strap's still holding it. Okay. These are the 3 straps. 1, 2, 3. Done. Let's get her out of the bottom. All right, let's look, see here. Actually, funny thing is, this thing moved, but I don't see movement. I don't need brakes in that. And do an inspection on this. Now, right there, I looked on the inside. Yeah, see right there? See that? You should not be able to see through the exhaust. So that right there, that kind of sucks actually, because this one's not broken off. So what I'm gonna have to do, oh dear God, Polaris, what is wrong with you?
What'd you say?
So yeah, so I'm gonna have to weld this up from this side and try to fill that gap, which isn't gonna be fun, because using flux core, or even if you're using MIG, it likes to arc off on the sides on tight spots, but that's where I'm leaking. I'm not leaking anywhere else like I thought I was, but a little separation. So I'm going to bring this inside, get all this dust off of it like I did it previously. So next time you guys see this, it'll be black.
You won't know until you
but yeah, so that's her right now anyway. So Jeff's was broken here, and he had a crack right there. That's where that other weld was, and of course this whole flange piece came off. But that's crazy. You can see right through that.
Let me see it.
Yep. Okay, cleaned up a bit more there, and I don't know if you guys can really see that, if it'll focus on it. See how the weld didn't stick and it's not against the metal? Like that. So 23,000 kilometers on my machine, I've had an exhaust leak. And what I was trying to say earlier there when my Jeff rolled up on me was one of the things that I was talking about when I was riding is how the GoPro isn't picking me up very well. And you can really see that crack right there? So I'm gonna have to go around this whole thing and re-weld it. I don't know if the whole thing doesn't have penetration, but you can see clearly right there, the weld is coming apart right there and there. But with my GoPro, I want to do a before and after because I'm pretty sure after this, I can actually do riding videos with commentary because, and that's not your phone, just, you know, because now my exhaust won't be pouring out of here, like out of the manifold, which is just retarded. So I washed this thing up as much as I could, you know, because it hasn't broken apart yet. And yeah, so I got to put another roll in that because I ran out. And in that time there, this thing here should dry up a bit. So stay tuned. Yeah, so far the welding is going good. I've got this side here welded up. Oh, I just haven't brushed that off. And then I started up here, and I've already blown through. So I started welding right here. You guys can see that. She can come along here. And then right there she blew through, and right there she blew through the original weld. So now I've got to gap this stuff back up. And I'm trying to weld like into the original weld and not be too hot on this. So I might have to just slow down my welding so I don't do this anymore. All right, I gotta say welding on stainless can be kind of hard, but what I managed to do is fill that gap up on both sides. I started on this side here. Actually, I started on the other side first. Started right in the middle there, and I was able to fill that entire gap up and bring the weld all the way out. And I was able to also, sorry for the shadow there, but I was also able to weld the sides there back together again. And the heat on this is really hard to manage, but I managed to get it so that now when you look down inside there, I know it's really hard to see right there, you don't see any light in there anymore at all, and you can almost see how I filled that weld in. So that's, you can even see this penetration actually, as a matter of fact. That's kind of cool. You can see all the heat on the sides there where I got good penetration in welding, and that's actually nice to see. I'm glad I got that. And now you guys can see it. So I'm gonna just call that done pretty much. I'm gonna have to get some exhaust clamps and clamp the heat shield back on, and I have to get the seals for the front here. I've already got the rear seal here, so this thing's pretty much set. I will say one of the things that I did is I put this thing in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes, all of 10 minutes, and this thing was hot. And that's actually a good idea for anything that you guys are going to weld. If you can preheat it, this is something I learned in the oil field. Do a pipeline, get all the moisture out of the metal, and it just welds a lot better. Now this these welds right here, you can see they pop out. They still pop out, and I don't know if that's because of the flux core. Like right there, it really blew out. By rights, I should be grinding those right down, but this isn't really a high pressure system, and I don't care because it's gonna be covered up. All I want to do is stop the exhaust leak, and that's what I've done. But when you preheat your metal, you get all the moisture out, and the metal has already expanded. So when you go to weld it, it actually welds a lot better. And I gotta say that this actually did weld a lot better than when I did the last exhaust repair that I did. And I'm using the same amount of heat, the same wire feed, the same heat. And I just noticed that this actually went a lot nicer. Even though I still did have these little blowouts here, which I think is indicative of flux core, which kind of sucks. The flux core just, there's more work in it. So I do have a regulator. I got to find a tank because I'd like to just go straight to MIG. MIG makes such nice welds. I prefer MIG. And yeah, so anyway, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pop this thing in here. Stay tuned for the video after installation. I will show you guys that. This is pretty straightforward, guys. Taking this thing apart is pretty easy. Like I said, it took me 15 minutes to take this out. Like, I went outside, 15 minutes later, I had this thing in my hand. It was that easy. So the hardest part was actually getting my exhaust off on this end, because the little donut there likes to slide up, so it kind of extends the length of this. But that was literally the hardest part, was just getting this end off my muffler. So, all right. I've got my K&N air filter in the house right now. I'm going to clean it, and I got to replace these two little gaskets right here, which are $25.99 a piece. These ones here actually are not too bad, but I bent one taking it out. This little guy right here, honestly, for what have I got on my bike right now? 23,147 kilometers. Not bad at all for 23,000 kilometers. That actually is pretty impressive, to be honest with you. That's basically because I don't go in the mud and water. Yeah, so I've got one of those brand new. These springs are still in pretty good shape, so I'm not going to worry about those guys. These guys here have to be replaced, and that's your guys. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing all back together again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff, guys. See you next time.